All right, today a little something new, a little something probably not of y'all, probably, well, how can I say it? Probably none of y'all are really interested in, but a lot of people's out here giving their reactions to the new Eminem album titled The Death of Slim Shady. I figured I would give my initial opinions and thoughts about the album, being a Eminem fan. And I'm not going to go through track for track or anything like that. If you haven't heard the album and you're into hip hop and you are into Eminem and you're really eager to check it out, it's available on YouTube. It's available on Spotify. I'm sure any music outlet, for, amongst the internet, I'm sure it's available. Uh, but we are going to get right down into it. If you don't know anything about Eminem, you know he speaks his mind. He's very blunt about what he says, and he don't give a damn what he says or what you think about, you know, the way he conducts music. He says what he wants. I know his last few albums have been kind of laid back. He's had a few issues with some other hip hop artists, and we all know what Eminem does when it comes down to problems with other hip hop artists that like to speak, you know, sideways about Eminem. The career is shot all the hell when they talk sideways about him. Doesn't mean that they're finished with music. It just means when he reacts and finally comes back at them, they're irrelevant. They're not as hot as they was. He ends careers. And the reason why I state that is because Eminem is known as a battle rapper. That's how he come up. He came up, you know, battle rapping people. And when you battle rap, you say anything and everything. There's no limit to what you could say. There's no boundary that could stop you. There's not a fence in front of you that says, "Hey, you can't say that." No, bullshit. You say what you want because in battle rapping, you say what's on your mind and you want to end them. You basically want to end that opponent from ever speaking again and basically quit. You know, quit rapping. You're done. Finished. And we all know that from the battle with the rapper Machine Gun Kelly. What happened to him? He started doing rock and roll music. What happened to the rapper Ja Rule? His career is a complete flop. What happened to the old timer Benzino back in the day when they started beefing? His career's fucking over with. He's garbage. They don't even speak about him. Well, if they do, I ain't hearing it. I mean, you get destroyed, basically. And this new day and age in hip hop, you got all this what I call, and what Eminem also calls on his album, Generation Z is what they call the new generation. The new generation has got an issue. They don't. Most of them don't like paying respect to, uh, how would you put it, the OGs, of hip hop. A lot of them have been ballsy enough to say that some of them suck, that they're better than them, and this, and that. Well, in your mind, that whatever's in your mind, but you have to respect because hip hop is a culture, you know, and it involves a race thing too. Yeah, Eminem's white. Yeah, big fucking deal, big deal. And a lot of these OGs that you see on these interviews, that's the first thing they want to bring up. Oh, he's got white privilege. He's got if he wasn't white, he wouldn't be selling as many records. Blah da 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 da. If you don't get off that bullshit, they don't want to accept him. In the hip hop culture. Well, I'm sorry, he's here. A lot of them label him as a guest. No, most of them label him as a legend. I do. I think he's. A lot of them put that GOAT title on in front of his name. You know, that stands for greatest of all time. And I've always stated to people when I get into this argument, there's not just one GOAT in hip hop. There's many. There's many, and I'll name a few right now. Lil Wayne, LL Cool J, Rakim, of course Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, Big L, uh, I gotta remember. I even Method Man, and I'll name one more. Guru from Gangstar. I'm sure there's many more goats after that. I just ain't gonna sit here and name them all off. But you know, Eminem has proven his talent time after time. Like I said, you know, his last few albums may have been kind of not what you were looking for. But this album in particularly, The Death of Slim Shady, he stated that it's a concept album. He's basically killing off his alter ego, which goes by Slim Shady, and giving you one last good feel of Slim Shady, because like I said, a lot of rappers say, man, we want the old him, we want the old Eminem, you know, when he come out talking the crazy shit, da 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 da. Trust me, he still got it. You know, he may be 51, 52 years old, but the man is still that motherfucking man, you know, and he's just showing you, but hey, just because I went off and matured a little bit, you know, did some more grown up, you know, songs and stuff like that, you know, kind of toned down the craziness, doesn't mean that I was, you know, sold out or anything like that. Oh, absolutely not. You know, you just reach a peak in your career where it doesn't have to be one way all the time. But since y'all keep poking and poking the bear, I'm about to show you what's really real. And that's exactly what he did on this album. The first two tracks, titled Renaissance and Habit, that is old school Eminem all the way, with the freedom, basically expressing his freedom of speech, speaking his mind whether you like it or not. And that's pretty much half of the album is pretty much, I'll say what I want to say, you either like it or you don't, because this new generation will never understand like back in the day. Back in the day, rappers were saying any and everything. Nobody took anything offensive. It's because back in the day we were built tougher. This new generation is soft like cotton, emotional, quick to fucking cry, quick to get their little fifis hurt. But I can't believe you said that. Well, it's time to grow a set and not take everything so freaking serious, you know. Enjoy the music, enjoy the type of music that you like for what it is, and quit analyzing shit, because that is the problem with music nowadays. They want to analyze bar for bar, or, you know, lyric for lyric. They want to analyze this, they want to dive into it, they want to dissect it, you know, and stuff like that. Whatever happened to just sitting back and enjoying fucking music for what it is? That's it. I'm even talking about not just hip hop, rock and roll, you know, country, whatever your flavor is of music. Just sit back and enjoying it for what it is. If it's good, you like it, so be it. If you don't like it, be like, man, I really wasn't feeling that. All right, that's fine. You ain't got to get into description or get into why you don't like it, or the drums were too low, or I didn't like what he said, or we don't want to hear all that bullshit, because what you don't like, somebody else might like. Point proven. But anyways, all I can say about this album, it's highly anticipated for this year. Uh, he released a single called Houdini that took me back to 2000s, early 2003. You know, it had that old Eminem feel. It's almost like it took me back in time. And then he dropped a second single called Toby that had a more modern day take, a little bit more modern style, but I love his approach, freedom of speech, and I like that. And I like that in music. Say what you want and don't give a shit, because that's how you feel. And when I do music, I do hip hop or whatever. I'm not famous or anything like that, but because I treat my music as therapy when I'm under a lot of pressure, and got a lot on my mind, I gotta release it somehow. So I release it through music, and I get what's on my chest off that way. Not as scared to say what I want, do what I want, because that's my outlet. And but yeah, the death of Slim Shady. If you're looking for that nostalgic Eminem, it's there, mixed with a little bit, more modern tone. But the beats are fresh and funky. Um, a lot of, like I said, a lot of callbacks, a lot of throwbacks to the Slim Shady persona that he's finally getting rid of because I understand he wants to move on. Like I said, man's 50 something years old. It's time, Not every, sooner or later he's going to want to retire. He's just going to want what they call a life outside of music, and I guess he figured he'd punch you in the mouth one last time, and again raise a little hell because we got to all remember Eminem when he come on the scene, he was what I call Mr. Controversy. Everything he said was controversial, and that's pretty much what he's hitting you with on this new album. Controversial catches and stuff like that, but also giving you a mix between today's Eminem and back then's Eminem, and that is great. All I can say is I give it 2 thumbs up. Eminem, you're kicking ass, brother. Uh, I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. The album is pretty fire, and I'm sure there's a lot out there like, yeah, it sucks. They always got their feelings hurt. It's not what I want. Well, you see these right here. What's that? Yeah, oh yeah. Well, we're not going to say what they are, but you get my drift. But yo, new Eminem is out. Like it, love it, hate it, whatever. Share it, throw darts at it. That is your opinion, but I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. Shady is back, and he's pissing you off, and that's what he's here for, and that was the plan from the jump. The Death of Slim Shady, Eminem. It is out on all platforms: Spotify, Amazon, probably Pandora. Oh God, definitely on YouTube because we're reacting the shit out of this fucking album. But if you're an Eminem fan, it is out. Eminem is in your face, and that is my opinions and thoughts about the Death of Slim Shady album. I like it. Do you like it?